Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. A quiet farmhouse, isolated, surrounded by endless fields in the Argentine countryside. 6 people live there: parents, children, grandparents. A normal family. They eat together, they work the land, they sleep under the same roof every night. Now imagine one morning, the doors of that farmhouse are wide open. The animals are wandering, hungry, unfed. The food on the table has gone cold. The beds have not been slept in. And the Gill family? All 6 of them have vanished into thin air. This is not a ghost story. This is not a legend whispered to scare children. This is real. And to this day, nobody knows what happened to the Gill family of Entre Ríos. The Gill family lived in a rural part of Argentina, far from cities and highways. Life there moved slowly. People depended on the land, on their cattle, on their gardens. The Gills were not famous, not wealthy, not political. Just ordinary folks living in isolation the way many families in the Argentine countryside did. And yet, maybe that isolation was the very thing that made them vulnerable. Neighbors were scarce. If trouble came in the night, there would be no one to hear, no one to run to for help. Their ranch was surrounded by miles of quiet farmland where darkness swallows everything after sunset. In 2002, something happened that remains one of Argentina's strangest mysteries. One day, the Gill ranch was found abandoned. But it wasn't abandoned like a family deciding to move away. No, this was different. The animals were left without care. Cattle mooed restlessly in the fields. Horses stood in their pens, hungry and unwatered. Inside the house, food was left out, as if someone had been preparing to eat. Everyday belongings, clothes, tools, even money, were untouched. It looked as if the Gill family had been interrupted in the middle of ordinary life and simply removed. At first, the whispers in the nearby villages were small. Maybe the family had gone to visit relatives. Maybe they had traveled suddenly. But the days turned into weeks, and still, no sign of them. Search parties began to look. Local police investigated the land, the house, the nearby woods. But what they found was even stranger. There were no signs of struggle. No broken doors, no scattered belongings, no blood. It was as if the Gill family had opened their front door and walked into the night, never to return. And yet, people close to the family swore they would never leave their home like that. They had no debts, no enemies, no urgent reason to run away.
Rumors started to spread. Some claimed the family had been stalked for weeks by strangers, mysterious visitors who were seen near the ranch. Others whispered of trafficking, of powerful groups who could make people disappear without a trace. Then there were the darker theories, cults, rituals, even the idea that the land itself was cursed. The lack of evidence only made the case more terrifying. Normally, a disappearance leaves something behind: a body, a weapon, a trail. Here, there was nothing. Police tried to dig deeper, but the investigation twisted into confusion. Records were unclear. Reports contradicted each other. Some officials seemed reluctant to push too hard, as if they feared uncovering something bigger, something untouchable. Journalists who visited the ranch described an unsettling silence that hung over the land. Locals avoided talking about it. It was as though the Gill family had been erased not only from their home, but from memory. Years have passed since that day, decades even, and yet not one trace has ever been recovered. No bones buried in shallow graves, no belongings washed up in rivers, no ransom notes, no confessions, nothing. 6 people, one family, vanished without leaving the faintest fingerprint behind. It is almost impossible to comprehend. Did they leave willingly? Were they forced? Were they alive somewhere, hidden away? Or had they all been silenced in a way so perfect, so complete, that the world itself swallowed the evidence? And here's the thought that lingers the most. The Gill family weren't famous, they weren't rich, they weren't involved in politics or power, they were just ordinary. If a whole family like that can disappear without reason, without trace, without explanation, then what safety do any of us really have? Somewhere, out there in the silence of Entre Ríos, the truth lies buried. Maybe it's under the soil of the ranch. Maybe in the memories of people too afraid to speak. Or maybe it's lost forever. So what do you think happened to the Gill family? Was it murder? A cover-up? Something even darker? Something we're not supposed to know? Let me know your theory in the comments, because until the truth is uncovered, the Gill family will remain just another one of this world's buried secrets.